Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Now, before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It's an Amazon KDP business created in December of 2019 in the food and beverages and culinary niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $30,124 and makes an average of $16,399 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are an Amazon KDP account with 11 physical books, 12 ebooks, and 5 audiobooks. There's an Ingram Spark account, contractor relationships, ad agency contract, copyrights, an email list with over 800 subscribers, software accounts, which include KD Profit, Audio Suite, Publisher Rocket. And just as a disclaimer, please note that KDP, ACX, Ingram Spark, and Draft to Digital payments are delayed for 30 to 90 days. So there will be residual revenue due to the seller during the migration, and this will be reconciled again during the migration process. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 66821 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. So let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Julia. How are you doing today?
Hello, Nick. I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing great as well. It's lovely to meet you. So I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business here. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Of course. Well, this is actually my first online business. However, I have always had a huge interest in the business and marketing fields, which I have studied and I still studying on a daily basis since years. Let's say in addition to this, so I have a great passion for books and design. And all of this passion and interest of mine, actually, they came together when I discovered how to publish my books through Amazon. And I was able to actually turn my passion into my work.
That's awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations on your first business that you have ever started, being one that is ready to sell and it being such a successful business. Did you come from background in the culinary side or in design or books, or was there some kind of skill set that you had before starting this business that you think helped?
I believe so. I graduated in international business. I literally moved straight to London just to do this. It was literally my dream since I was, I want to say very, very little. So basically, I just decided to move to London when I was in my 17 years old. And I studied in university, but while I was studying, I literally tried and tried to create my own business already at the time.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. All right. So it's been over 3 years that you have built and grown this business. And obviously, you've achieved a lot of success in a relatively short period of time. So what would you say you learned from building this business that worked, or what you think contributed to the success you experienced?
What actually worked the most for us has definitely been the huge love we have put into literally, every single activity related to this business. We really tried, to provide our clients with the highest quality in terms of products. And to actually be able to achieve this, you really, really need to take care of every single detail. You cannot actually leave anything to chance. On the other hand, of course, there have been publishing our books. We tried also to publish, let's say, on Ingram Spark platform. And for instance, that didn't give us the results we hoped for. And after a few months of efforts, and attempts, we kind of decided to address our focus fully on KDP. And from there, we really saw, more revenues. We could, have much more control over either the profitable niches analysis or the competitor analysis, as well as over the management of the Amazon ads, to which we really have been able to boost the amount of sold copies and therefore the overall profit of the business.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I notice about this business is this is a highly profitable business. It's a large business, but there are a relatively low number of SKUs. If I compare this to other Amazon KDP accounts, I'm sure you've seen that there is different philosophies of building an Amazon KDP business. And some people decide to create hundreds and hundreds and maybe even thousands of books in order to achieve the kind of profit that you've experienced. So when I look at something like this that has very few SKUs, very few books, that tells me that the quality must be very high to justify or to create this kind of results. So is that correct in what you said earlier? Yeah, focusing on.
100%. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, I met all this philosophy you actually talk about. And sometimes it was really difficult, to say, okay, but there are like many people are trying to do more books than us. But I just realized the fact that at the end, you don't really have like to compare with other people. You have really just to think to deliver the best you can, like for your own project. And I was like, okay, I will just try to deliver the most that I can. Then if I publish like 10 books, 12 books, the important things for me is like my clients, when they, purchase from me, they are fully satisfied of the product. This is literally the thing that I care the most.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that here. Well, that's awesome to see that. So, was there anything that you tried with this business that didn't work out as well?
Yeah, as I was actually saying before, the Ingram Spark platform, we didn't actually, we tried, to be honest with you, we didn't put the 100% focus on that. It was just like attempt because we were focused on Amazon mostly, but we really, it's like, okay, let's do this attempt. But after a while, it's like, okay, at the moment, we are satisfied with Amazon. As I was saying, we had at least more control of the profitable niches analysis, competitors analysis, the management of the ads. So through all these instruments that Amazon was actually giving us, we were definitely able to, sold more copies. We saw an increase of copies that we were able to sell. And therefore, also the overall profit of the business really went up. So at the end, we were satisfied of that. I mean, definitely for a potential buyer can be a field to explore. At the moment, we were satisfied with that. So, like with Amazon.
Yeah, well, it's good that you did try this channel to see how profitable it could be. And yeah, maybe if the buyer of this business wants to explore that, they can. But I think it's worth trying these different revenue channels. But also, it's good to know when it's worth going all in on a channel that's really working, that you can spend all of your focus and all of your resources to build out and fully capitalize on the thing that's working for your business.
I 100% agree with you. Like, literally, this has been like our decision at the time. But there's definitely, like, like the potential for a buyer to explore over there. I will definitely recommend to try.
Okay, so that actually kind of leads to the next question, just about how traffic is generated and the revenue streams. So it sounds like, yes, there is an Ingram Spark account, but this is primarily, pretty much almost entirely driving revenue through the KDP channels. Is it safe to assume that your traffic comes both from the organic side and the advertising side?
Let's say like our business like is literally organic. And if I have like to be more specific, like the majority of earnings we are generating right now, they are by one of our authors, which is specialized like on a specific, a particular cooking niche.
Got it. Well, in that case, there's a great growth opportunity there, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. As first, I'd like to ask about the amount and the type of work that you currently do on this business to maintain it.
100%. Like, okay, being like totally honest, I am fully able to manage this business in about 4 hours per week. But this is just because like the advertisement work is fully delegated and all like the hard work related to the books creation and publication, as well as the social proof establishment has been already undertaken like before. And therefore, like the business is an almost fully passive income today. I think of the running free promotions for our books, like, to boost our social proof. And it is possible, actually, like using the visibility services to which the book gets shared with potential readers will eventually leave reviews if satisfied. Let's say the overall, this job, like actually described, requires about 2 to 3 hours per month. So I also analyze like the reports coming from ADS management agency, and just to be able to make changes to the book, such as raising, lowering the prices, getting the covers, and plus contents released by a specialized agency, as well like updating or editing the description on the products page like when needed. So yeah, I would say like overall like 4 hours per week.
Yeah, that definitely is a minimal time requirement for running this business. And it doesn't seem like the types of tasks that you do would be super complex for a buyer acquiring this business.
Exactly. I do believe this is literally, like a good point.
Nice. Okay. So I mentioned before we'll be discussing opportunities. So if you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
Let's say I'll definitely get the book translated into other languages too, just to create like also more profitable Facebook group for our authors to reinforce, at the end, a crucial aspect of every sales process, which is lead generation. I literally firmly believe this process will also improve the overall perception of the authority. And something I definitely will do is to try at least to broaden the business focus, embedding, other niches within it, as long as I believe they turn out to be profitable as the cooking one in KDP and ACX context. Maybe the last thing, I will definitely also try to broaden the project outside Amazon, like the Amazon platform itself, and wouldn't underestimate the potential profit of creating low content products.
Yeah. And then the last point, which you mentioned previously, is that you can run advertising for somebody who maybe is experienced in running ads or has the additional capital that they want to use to run ads to drive more sales. It seems like a really big opportunity amongst the other ones that you just mentioned.
100%.
Great. So, of course, with any opportunities, there's also risks with any business model. So, what do you think are the biggest risks with this business or business model that a buyer should be aware of?
100%, I definitely believe there are risks. Our potential buyer should be aware of the risk he or she can meet if they won't consider carefully like the overall set of Amazon policies, such as opening of a double account, the copyright violation, the plagiarism of other famous authors as well is very, very important.
Yes. So, pretty much just making sure that you abide by Amazon's terms of service in order to not be in violation of anything. And I think anybody who is listening to this who has experience with Amazon FBA or Amazon KDP is well aware that they will need to do that. Okay. Well, a few housekeeping questions to wrap this up. Julia, how much support are you willing to offer a new buyer after they acquire the business?
We literally discuss about that, and we are actually willing to really go above and beyond the standard support, offering, let's say, 60 days of full support, either via both phone and email.
Okay, great. And just confirming that you commit to a non-compete after the business is sold?
And if that, yeah, of course, like as I said, literally, I like to address or focus on new and different types of businesses and projects that I find like to be very exciting.
Awesome. And are you open to something like an earnout?
We are willing to negotiate for that.
Okay, great. All right, last two questions here. So, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I'm gonna actually tell you everything I think about it. First of all, I definitely will say because of the niche, like where the business is actually operating in, we choose the recipes and diet books niche as it is the most profitable niche you can find in Amazon KDP. Also, it is literally like an evergreen niche, meaning like sells properly throughout the whole year, and it also has a very very high sales peaks during the high season. There are like of course like other reasons like let's say, the business itself, like not looking at the niche, but just looking at the business itself, is worth buying as it belongs to a market which is in further expanding and is the full of potential, let's say. The return are high, and also the management of the business itself doesn't require like a huge effort, as it can almost be considered to be fully passive.
Nice. Yes, this definitely seems a business that's in a competitive niche, but one where you've proven that you own a piece of the market, definitely. And it's not a time intensive business either to maintain that. So, a business with a solid foundation that seems overall relatively straightforward to run. So, that's great to see. Okay. Well, last question, Julia, is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I literally believe you covered pretty much everything. I feel really satisfied because actually I really got, the chance to disclose everything I wanted to. So thank you very much for your support.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think this is the perfect place to wrap this up. So, Julia, thanks so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And yeah, I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Thank you for the opportunity, Nick, and thanks to everyone.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 66821. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.